Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now this is the second video for today, an extra video if you will, and it's a topic I've covered before, but it's a bit of an update. We're going to be talking about SoloQ and dynamic queue, that type of thing, because it's a topic that is still very controversial in the community. You have people on both sides, of people that like it, people that hate it, who literally have quit the game because of it. And you know, I'm fairly vocal about it. I have given my opinions before. So I thought I'd give an update. You know, some YouTubers a week or two ago did a video of this, like, kind of similar. But I wanted to hold off. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to wait for more updates and kind of look into more, like, the language they were using in the updates instead of kind of just, like, throwing my opinion straight out there to thousands of people and potentially could be wrong or misinformed. But now I think I'm fairly informed and I've got a fairly... I'm not going to say neutral because I am biased to my own opinion, obviously, but it's a fairly well thought out opinion. So I'm just going to say that my opinion, again, is from a veteran player, played since Season 1. You know, I don't panic because of change. I don't rage over change because I've seen League of Legends evolve into what it is today. Literally from Season 1 to Season 6, I've played the game. But also, as a slight game designer opinion as well, you know, I have the luxury of, I'm a university student in my final year doing a computer games design degree, so I kind of know that world a little bit as well. So that's kind of where my opinion does stand. And, you know, again, you know, I've built a YouTube channel around the game. I'm very passionate about League of Legends, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. And I think sometimes it's just important for content creators to speak up. To create the conversation, if you will, because, you know, who else is going to do it? So I'm going to just say this. In the updates that we've got recently on the forum posts and all that stuff, I am now pretty much a firm believer that they're not going to introduce SoloQ again this season. A couple reasons why. First is the language that they're using whenever they talk about SoloQ is very much like Blizzard when, you know, the whole meme of soon TM came from Blizzard because whenever they said soon, it never happened soon. It happened in like a year. Where the language that they're using to describe SoloQ is we may implement it. It's possible to do that. It's not definitive. It's not like we're doing it, it's happening. It's never been that. I personally think what happened with the whole SoloQ thing is the uproar about dynamic queue came, and Riot, to try and calm down the community, was like, okay, we'll just tell them that we're going to do SoloQ. And I think it was just like a PR stunt. No bad intentions from them. You know, I'm not trying to say they were covering it up to whatever. I think they did intend to do it when they posted that. But I think they kind of was like, ew, that was a mistake. Maybe we shouldn't have done that for a couple reasons, which I'll go into later. But... another reason why I don't think they're going to do SoloQ is literally the patch notes. I just read them. This is a very recent video of me recording it. You'll be able to tell that is the recent changes to who you can queue up with in dynamic queue. Now, they wouldn't do that change if they weren't trying to make dynamic queue better, which means if they're trying to make dynamic queue better, they're not focusing on SoloQ. You know, to me, that's fairly obvious. Hopefully that is to you guys. But they're restricting who you actually can queue up with, which has been a major thorn in my side as a Diamond 2, Diamond 3 player, potentially Diamond 1 in a few months when I actually try a lot harder. I hate SoloQ right now. Like, dynamic queue, it's awful. You know, I have people, my games right now, the average game, you know, I've got Diamond 1s in my game, and I have a Diamond 5 in my game, you know, on the enemy team as well as my team. And they just can't keep up with the play. It's like there's such a massive skill difference in my ratings right now. Ranked is like, every single game is basically a clown fiesta. I know a lot of people like that term, but it's true. Every single game, it's either a stomp or a clown fiesta. It goes on for 40 minutes, one team's winning, the other team's winning. It's not a good game of League of Legends. That's how I would describe it. It's not a good match to play. It never feels like... I've played for 6 years. I love the feeling of having a good game and going, even if I lose it, I'm like, yeah, that was a good game. I have not had that basically at all in Season 6, where I used to have it all the time in SoloQ. You know, it's a really cool feeling when 5 of you come together and do something really cool in SoloQ, and I haven't had that feeling, you know, in a while, because... I think the idea of dynamic queue was, hey, more people playing together on communication will make the game more competitive, where to me it's done the complete opposite. The games feel really just all over the place. They feel like opposite of a competitive game. They feel like normal games. They don't feel like ranked at all, which I think is a major problem. Maybe the new implement that people can't basically queue up with like a massive gap in the ratings may help. Because, yeah, I don't think Diamond 1 players should be able to queue up with Diamond 5 players or Master players with Diamond 5. It's too big of a skill difference. So hopefully that helps in my rating. But yeah, I think, like, honestly, just speaking as a player, I hope Season 7 they get rid of Dynamic Queue and they go back to SoloQ and Ranked 5s. Because I'll be honest, I miss Ranked 5s. I've got a friend group that nowadays we're basically limited to play ARAMs because I hate normal games. Like, I just don't play normal games really because I don't see the point in them. I'm a ranked player and I can't play ranked with them. I'm too high rated, and even on a Smurf I don't like boosting and that stuff, so I won't really play ranked with them. So I'm limited to play ARAM with them, which gets a bit boring after a couple matches. So I can't play with my friends anymore. You know I'm in a very small percentage of players. If I put my developer cap on, as a game developer, you're kind of thinking, okay, this change, what will change the majority of our audience? What will change the majority of our player base? I know I'm not in that majority. I'm in the top 0.2% of a server. I'm nowhere near the majority. But it is like Riot just didn't care about the higher rating people, and I'm a big person in terms of game design and all that stuff. You need to balance your game to the best players. In World of Warcraft as well, you need to balance your game to the best players because they are your core. They are your pillar that everybody wants to be. In World of Warcraft, the game started to become stale when they started to balance it to casual players. That's why everybody quit. When WoW was a hard game, people looked up to the hardcore raiders and was like, I'm going to get there one day. And that's when WoW was its most popular. Burning Crusade, the beginning of the Wrath of the Lich King. They're doing it in League of Legends now. Make solo queue hard, get rid of dynamic queue because it's made it too easy. Come back to solo queue, make it hard again, and then people will look up to the diamond players, the master players, the challenger players, and that will make them want to play more. But dynamic queue, I've seen in my own comment section, people are quitting the game left, right, and center. They still like the game, they still love League, they just don't play it anymore because they're like me. I'm a ranked player. I'll never go play normals if I can help it. They don't see the point like me, so they just stop playing. Sky Williams made a video the other day that was like, I noticed in my YouTube comment section a lot of people saying I've quit the game but still watch your videos. The reason is dynamic queue, and I know a lot of people in the comment section of this video may defend dynamic queue, and I'm not completely against it. I get you want to play with your friends, that's fine, but the problem with it is dynamic queue is made for casual players. But then when you attach the whole ranked environment to it, it just doesn't work. The whole dynamic queue with ranked, it just doesn't mesh. It doesn't make sense. But then the problem with it as well, people say, okay, what about, they'll implement solo queue, they'll have dynamic queue for the casual ranked players, and then they'll have normals for the really casual players. Developer hat is back on, you're splitting your player base too much. Because then you have normal players, casual dynamic ranked players, and then hardcore ranked players in solo queue where every single high rated player is going to go. Pure solo queue will turn into, let's say, the hardcore queue where all the professionals play, where the YouTubers play, you name it. A good player, they'll go play there. Dynamic queue will turn into the ultimate clown fiesta queue, and normal will be like it is now. I don't see they're going to do that. I will say the whole beginning of it, I don't think the community ever asked for this change. I think it worked. Solo and duo queue with ranked 5s, that was good. I for the life of me, I can't think of people that was like, I wish I could queue up as a 4-man in solo queue. I never heard anybody say that before it actually happened. I just hope that they revert the change, but then as, again, developer hat back on, when you implement a change and if you revert it as a developer, it shows you're being weak. And if then your player base is controlling the game, you lose footing as a developer and you actually lose traction of your own development, which sometimes developers will just stick to their guns, and if the player base doesn't like it, they're like, screw it, we're just going to keep going with it, which Riot might do. There is a possibility that they will do that. I hope they don't. I hope that they go, okay, Season 6 was a learning experience. We're not going to do that again. We understand solo queue is more for the hardcore players, and there you go, have it back. Maybe, I've seen some suggestions that people are like, maybe in Diamond 5+, you just can't do dynamic queue. I would love that, but then again, you're splitting the community. You're going to have the people in gold, silver, platinum who don't like it go like, what about us? I will say, and I will make this point, It is blown out of proportion how much dynamic queue affects all the ratings. Now, again, speaking as somebody that has high rating accounts and low rating accounts like Smurfs, there's like no difference in SoloQ in bronze, silver, gold, probably even up to mid-platinum of dynamic queue. There is no difference. You know, you're not getting held back in gold because of dynamic queue. That is just simply false. Which is why maybe the separation when diamond comes, maybe then have you can't dynamic queue anymore. Because I've seen it on Reddit as well. You know, I do use Reddit as a big source. If you don't like Reddit, I apologize. But a guy said he dynamic queued his way up to diamond. Then he just played a few solo games. He does not belong in diamond. That has happened a lot this season. Which is why maybe even cut the cap off at like Platinum 2. So if you cut the you could dynamic queue your way up to Platinum 2, and then to get into Diamond you need to do it by yourself. I would love that. I doubt they're going to do it. I will just say that I doubt they'll do that because again it's backing off for what they're already trying to do. But I will say, as just a player, I guess a YouTuber and everything in between, I think it backfired in the fact that, you know, they said, let's make SoloQ more competitive. And the way that it backfired, it did the complete opposite. It made it into the least competitive thing I think I've ever done. SoloQ just feels gimmicky. It just feels not competitive at all. Like I said, you know, it just sucks. You know, I'm just going to say that. You know, I love Riot as a company. I love League of Legends. I'm so grateful that they're making the game and developing it. But as a solo queue player, you know, that's majority what I am. Yes, I've been a tournament player, etc., but I am a solo queue player. It just sucks. I hope it changes because I love this game. It is my favorite game of all time, and probably, unless something else comes out in my lifetime that is going to make me make a YouTube channel and all that stuff, you know, I don't see me being more passionate about any video game. And yeah, my love for League has gone down, I will say, this season, which is sad to say, but hopefully it'll come back. I'm still going to play every day. I love the game too much to stop playing, but it just sucks as, you know, a solo queue player that I don't have solo queue anymore. And, you know, as a pure solo queue player, I don't duo queue, I don't dynamic queue. Sometimes it does feel like I'm being like held a prisoner when I'm queued up with 4 teammates that are pre-made. It's awful. And I would never wish that experience for anybody, really, because it just feels bad. You know, they're communicating by themselves. I'm a solo player, no communication. I'm the scapegoat a lot of the time. It's just like, damn, why am I doing this? And I do it because I love the game, but, you know, if you know, I'm really passionate about the game, if somebody is like half the passion of me, they'd probably stop playing. And I, at the moment, can't blame a lot of people because, I don't know, I just don't think the game is going in the right direction if it's going to stay with dynamic queue. But I just thought I'd make this video just as an update, my own opinions and all that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Throw a like on it if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.